Hi, this is Sonia Kim, practitioner level 3 of quantum healing hypnosis technique. Today, I'm sharing with you a session story of a woman who came with breast cancer. Her name is Eve, and her partner's name is Adam. She came to me and wearing a hat to covering her hair loss, and her face was very pale. I mean, you can tell by looking at her, she does not need anything else, just love. But in the line of work that I am doing, I have to know her story, specifically the emotional aspect of it. So she started talking, in the beginning a little bit slow, reluctantly. But in the course of several hours, she was actively participating, talking about life and her emotions about it. Now, in this life, she met Adam. Some time ago, they fell in love, decided to move in together, and they had many loving moments, expressed desire to live forever, loving each other. But Adam changed his mind. His mind was wandering away, looking for something else. So he started going out weekends without her, and sometimes out for a week or two without saying anything. Of course, that was continuing for a few years, and then she had her feelings about it. And she also had some proofs because night of the hour, some odd texting coming, and he was busy talking. But she didn't express any discussion, her annoyance, her concerns, or nothing. She just pressed everything down, pushed down, and thinking, okay, logically, we're going to solve this issue. Did it happen that way? No, it didn't. And one day even, Adam wanted her to pick him up at the airport. She went there, find he has a woman beside him. Now, how are you going to take it if you were in her position? Well, I guess she had enough, right? And all the emotions were fermenting in her side. So they discussed and settled the assets accordingly and departed. And living in a place where they used to be together, she felt utterly lonely. But during all this time, she felt her breast was not feeling normal. She felt a little lumps there and start to getting bigger and bigger. Her intuition tells her, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. Let go and no need, just meditate. But her fear tells her that, no, something is wrong. Maybe it's a cancer. We better go and check. So she did go to the medical doctor and got diagnosed with breast cancer. So she is on the regime of taking half a dozen of chemotherapy. And by the time she came to see me, she's gone through half of it. So when he relaxed in deep trance, we found out in a past life they were lovers. They decided to marry together. Eve at that time was a male, and Adam was at that time female. So they promised each other, but Eve at the time had a different, it desired to pursuing a spiritual path. So he left her, saying bye. Well, Adam didn't take it very well, and then was in a resentment, anger, and everything. Now they both carry the feelings from past life. And of course, their interest to meet together was because they still carry the emotions from past life of loving each other. But it didn't go out that way, this life, and they are both here to work out. Specifically, Eve came back to work this karma out. And her higher self says that when you look at this video here now, let's look at this female breast organ there. You can see these milk ducts. In her case, milk ducts are all ulcerated and retaining water. Her higher self said to why the ducts are ulcerated, because she is carrying the guilt from the past. And her kidneys are, instead of flushing all water out into a milk duct area, so the breast is retaining water and it becomes lumpy. So her higher self says, use Savoy cabbage. I asked why, and higher self said, Savoy cabbage is very soft, and it's soft on the skin. So every night she puts Savoy leaves on her breast, and it sucks out the toxins. And use a heating pad as well to release the retained water. So every night she is going to do that until the lump is all disappeared. So now what about the memory of past life of guilt? I asked her higher self to do something about it, to remove it. And her higher self removed it with a special pen, the debris on her neural path, so that she can communicate with her higher self much more openly, and the memory of guilt is removed. And also, what is the reason of having her this breast cancer is because she is going to help people with the cancer. She knows what it feels like to have a cancer. And also she has a lot of doubts, what the doubts is doing it, and fears. Remember in the beginning, her intuition kept telling her, everything is fine, don't worry about it. But her doubts and fears were really kicked in and became really manifested. So now it's important to allow feelings. Instead of penting it all up and fermenting inside, you need to release all the angers, resentment, doubts, and fears. With the logics, you can do certain things, yes, but when it comes for emotions, logic is not there. No need. You've got to work on feelings. And this kind of cancer is developing with the fears, doubts, resentment, all those negative emotions you fermenting inside. One time I made a video on how powerful the words on brown rice, that experiment I have made. And you can see the result, even that few months and even 2 weeks, what the devastating effect it makes. Same thing with our human body. Instead of giving love, when you push it down, your emotions with anger, resentment, fear, doubts, then your body also responds that way. So higher self said to her, meditate. Whenever there is a doubt, always replace it with gratitude. As soon as the doubt creeps in your mind, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because gratitude is what also help us from getting into trouble. We recognize how lucky we are. Just keep giving thanks. So now at the end of the session, when I brought her up, she kept touching her breast and say, "Oh my God, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller," which is great because the healing has been occurred. Now, to solidify the healings, you need to listen the recording every night is best. Dolores always suggests or quoted the lady who listened to her session recording every night for 20 years. Likewise, it is always best to listen your session recording every night. If not available, do your best to listen often. Why? Because we are creating new neural path, which is more positive for you, the better way, the best way for you. In order to make it clear and strong path, repetition is required, like everything else. You keep listening and solidify your healings. So now I'm looking at my notes. Okay, I think I pretty much covered the informations. So again, it is important to listen to the recording again and again to create a new neural path to solidify your healing. Thank you for listening this session story. Until we meet again, you take care.